your Sour Patch Kids Thundersticks and make some noise. It's the final match here on Wednesday. We're in the final week of the regular season, and this final match is going to have a serious impact on both the season playoffs as well as the Stage 4 playoffs. I'm your host, Chris Puckett. I'm joined at the desk by the Brits. We got Bren, we've got Sideshow, and our earlier games, pretty one-sided. But this one, it could go the distance. This one could go all the way to Game 5 because this is a must-win for both teams. For the Seoul Dynasty, your whole season's on the line. You're not going to the Stage 4 playoffs, but you could still slip in to the top 6. How do they do it? Well, they need the Houston Outlaws to beat the Philadelphia Fusion, and then Seoul's got to beat the Gladiators on Friday, with Philly losing their second match. It's not looking likely, but things are looking up for their opponent here on the other side of the stage. We got the Dallas Fuel, who struggled throughout Stage 1 through 3, but now they find themselves in a position at that number 4 spot. That's good enough to get into the Stage 4 playoffs.
Yeah, it really is. This is what makes this match so interesting, is that there's so much on the line for both these teams here today.
So Josh, let's talk through the Seoul side here first. How do you see them getting to the playoffs, if at all?
Well, Seoul have missed out on the stage playoffs again, and they always seem to do this. It's been a very disappointing season for the Seoul Dynasty, but if they're going to make the overall playoffs, which we would have expected them to at the beginning of the season, this is their path to playoffs. They have to win out this week against Dallas and the Gladiators. Then Houston have to defeat Philadelphia and lose to New York, and then Philly also have to lose to Houston and London. So they need Philadelphia to lose both of their games, and they need to win both of their games, and then they just have to hope that Houston loses to New York, which seems reasonable. It just all relies on Philadelphia playing very poorly this week, and Seoul somehow pulling out miraculous wins. It's a super difficult path to the playoffs. Still possible, and they still have to play their role, but they have to rely on Philadelphia playing badly as well.
Bren, do you think if Seoul does their part and somehow manages wins over those two teams, Dallas and the Gladiators? I love America. What up, Seagull? Will we see London have enough in the tank to take on the Philadelphia Fusion in your eyes?
It's entirely possible. It's all possible, statistically speaking. But I have just lost all hope in Seoul as a team. Every time I watch them, I'm infinitely disappointed in my heart. I mentioned it time and time, and it's just all the time. Watching this team, it honestly irks me to no end, because I know what they're capable of, and I mention this every time I'm on the desk and I'm analyzing Seoul. But watching their matches, like, look at this now. They just don't really know how to set up a lot of these team fights. They find success because a few of their players clutch it out, get a couple of kills, and do well. But it seems like there's a lack of a game plan here from Seoul, and this has been the case for quite some weeks now. And it annoys me. It really does.
Does it, Bren?
When I saw this match on paper, I was like, you know, Dallas Fuel, has a lot of implications for both these guys. But that is scary. I'm losing my train of thought. That's just unsettling.
Stay around after the show. I'll give you keys to Bren's apartment.
This is actually, oh my goodness.
That's so good. Oh, there's Seagull as well himself. There you go.
Oh,
Seagull is his biggest fan.
and he ruins it with the tap.
Wow. Yeah, killed it.
You're doing so well, Seagull.
But yeah, for me,
imposter.
if I get back on track with Seoul, this team needs to be completely crushed and rebuilt from the ground up, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Wow.
I'm being overly harsh in some senses. I'm probably going to get a lot of angry messages over it, but this is how I feel. This is from the bottom of my heart. You can't tell me otherwise.
Bren, do you see this little kid jumping up and down in his Seoul jersey?
Not looking.
You just broke his soul, but he's all smiles because Josh is going to say nice things about the Dynasty, aren't you?
Am I? Oh, unfortunately, I think we've got to also put a bit of a focus on Gambler as well, who came in at the middle of the season as their Mercy player, and because that was an issue that they were having, that neither Toby or Jaehong is particularly comfortable on that hero, and he is a shot caller for them. Previous shot caller for LW Blue, who are now the NYXL, but that was before they were really good. And he's very frantic. From the reports we've heard from players that have played with him in the past, he's quite a hectic main caller, calling things and not really focusing that much on the setup. So I wonder whether it's that kind of style that's actually hurting the Seoul Dynasty. Just because you're a strong shot caller does not necessarily mean that that's the style that works for that team, or that it's even going to get good results. So it's interesting because we've seen the starting lineups here today and Gambler's not in it. So maybe the Seoul Dynasty have realized that this isn't quite working.
Bren, if Seoul is going to walk away with the victory today, who are the threats that they need to shut down on the Dallas Fuel?
Right, it's Zumba, right? This is the guy who's been performing consistently well every single time.
Dallas Fuel players.
Sorry, my bad.
All right,
Dallas. We're
Zumba
talking about
from
Dallas.
Seoul.
I thought you said
He's gonna play
Seoul.
well.
I thought you said Seoul.
Still
My
the
bad.
diva.
Dallas, though, if we're going to be talking about Dallas players that are going to be stepping up, we got to mention Mickey as well on the Brigitte. He seems to fit very nicely into this role. He's been a core player, essentially. We all know, we've talked about Dallas to death about how they've been building around Brigitte, but that's what you really need to watch out for.
I'm more scared.
Now.
I'm more scared of the bird behind you.
Sure, maybe,
and
maybe.
Seagull in game, because Seagull's stats on Diva have been unbelievable. Unbelievable. Your eyes are on the side of your head. You can't even look at me like that. You're a prey. You're not a predator.
You're a prey animal. Well, this guy's a predator, Josh. There we go.
He is. Although I wouldn't phrase it quite like that. Seagull's a very good player, yes, and his Diva stats are just league topping right now. That's also because the team doesn't really play with anybody else that aggressive, so Seagull is the guy that has to be going in there and getting the kills and being that offensive force. They play a lot of the kind of tankier compositions.
I love his Hanzo, but his Diva has been absolutely on point. And if you've been watching Seagull, he has been eating up the enemy's ultimates. Look out for that defense matrix to be key today. Guys, let's get into this one. A lot on the line for both of the teams. I have a feeling where you're going, Bregman, but let's go ahead and start with you anywhere.
Yeah,
is
just
it
to make it
Dallas
official.
or is it Seoul?
Are you having a laugh? Are you having a giggle, Puppy?
Yes.
After all that monologuing I've just done about Seoul, of course I'm going Dallas Fuel for this one. I feel like they're a stronger team when it comes to the matchups. Seoul have done nothing but disappoint me in the past. How many times am I going to use the word disappoint in this broadcast, Josh?
17.
I'm not too sure.
Yes.
You're doing
17
great.
apparently, but Dallas is the team I'm going with.
But the interesting thing is that our expectations were so high for the Seoul Dynasty. And even now, when you look at the overall standings, Dallas Fuel are not in contention for the overall playoffs. Seoul Dynasty should be the better team here. But I'm still not going to predict them to win. I'm still going to go with the Dallas Fuel. Because I think right now, yes, Dallas have been slumping previously at the beginning of the season, but they're starting back up. They're going back up the hill.
Yeah.
Seoul Dynasty appear to keep tumbling down. So I think that Dallas Fuel are going to take it here today.
It's going to be a great battle, and it's time to get this match started. Both of my analysts are going with Dallas, but I still have faith in our first team today. Let's hear it for the Seoul Dynasty. Kuki's coming out of the tunnel first, fellas, and for me, you're saying there's a chance.
Okay,
I think this is actually going to be a really close game.
Yeah, okay, Josh, all right. Everyone gang up on Brendan. I see how it is, mate. No, honestly, though, Kuki, I'm glad that you have at least opened up with him, okay, because this guy, in my opinion, has added something now that Seoul were missing for quite some time, and that's a form of stability. You have a player you can build around, you can have a player that you can sort of start to build a lot of these strategies and have game plans coming into these matches. I just haven't seen it yet. Now, the question is, am I going to see that today? I hope so, because Kuki has shown himself to be at least above average in the main tank department, so it's definitely something to work towards, especially alongside Zumba.
Josh, for any of the new fans here in the venue for the first time, who are the other stars to look out for on this Seoul Dynasty roster?
The person that I'm going to be looking at is Toby here, because he was formerly the caller when the Seoul Dynasty were at their peak before, when they were called Lunatic High. He's kind of the brains behind the team as far as I know. And so bringing him back into this lineup, yes, he's not the most comfortable Mercy player in the world, but you can learn that kind of stuff. The calling, the brains, the game sense, Toby's got all of that. And so I think that we'll start to see more of a vision, especially when he's alongside his longtime support partner, Ryu Jae-hong, who is just fantastic when he's at that peak, when the two of them are working together.
They need to get back there.
They need to get back there. That's the key.
This is the guy for me. Zumba plays both of my mains, the Diva and the Zarya, but you look at their performances in the last 10 matches, he's probably been Mr. Consistent for this squad.
Yes, he has.
Build off of his strong play.
Yeah, and this player on your screens right now, Fleta, is one guy that I do want to see a stronger performance coming out now in this match. It's an opportunity for, again, him to prove himself a little bit. He was hyped up at the start of this league as one of the star players for Seoul, but recently has been slipping a little bit, but I'm expecting large things from him in particular.
Was once a top 3 DPS. Can he show off his skills tonight? We're about to find out as we bring out his opponents. Please show some love for the team from Texas. It's your Dallas Fuel. If you were watching Watchpoint earlier this week, you noticed the guy seconds behind Harry Hook there, Unko. He was talked by Monty, Doa, Mr. X, everyone to just acknowledging his impact in the matches recently. We know we've seen it from Jonak, we've seen it from guys like Podojin, but Unko is a serious threat to look out for when you compare him with the rest of the Zenyatas.
He definitely is, and because the Dallas Fuel are now performing well and surviving longer in these team fights, Unko can start showing how good he really is. Before, when there's a lot of pressure, on, especially on the back line of a team like the Dallas Fuel, he really couldn't do that much. His team couldn't keep him alive. But now that Dallas Fuel are the initiators, the aggressors, and they're forcing other teams back, Unko can really get into that situation where he's throwing out orbs. I guess that's what time he's doing. I don't really know what was going on.
I want to take MMA classes or some kind of mixed martial art here with Taimu.
I think their mentality looks so much better, though, for the Dallas Fuel.
That's the one point I really wanted to hit on, is the fact that looking at this team, they are happy. They are smiling. You know, they're walking onto the stages with grins, you know, straight out ear to ear.
OG is.
Apart from OG, his game time mate is all serious. But this team now, and I feel like this has had a huge impact on them, because now that they're starting to actually enjoy playing the game on the big stage again, they're starting to perform a lot better, and it goes hand in hand. And your mentality as you're playing these matches has a huge impact in actually you getting wins as well. Because if you're going into a match negative, expecting defeat, that's usually what you're going to be getting.
Blizzard World, both of these teams need a win. I want to hear from you. Who wants to see the Dynasty walk away with a victory tonight? Who wants to see the W going up for the Dallas Fuel? Seems like we got a Fuel-friendly crowd right here, and so are your casters. We got Monty and Doa.
Thank you, Bucket. He's decided who we've declared our allegiances for as well, apparently. Well, guys, I mean, I think we could say anyone could win this game, but these two teams need to win for very different reasons. Like the desk said, Seoul trying to keep their hopes alive for the overall Overwatch League playoffs, and Dallas trying to make it to their first stage playoffs. And I got to go with the desk here, though. I think they got a good shot.
I mean, we both predicted the Dallas Fuel on Watch Point, so I think Dallas obviously coming in, definitely looking better the longer this stage has gone on. Now they have a stable central tank like OG, who's been performing very well to rally behind, and then also players like Seagull really stepping up and proving to be one of the best D.Va and Hanzo players in this league at the current time. So everything's looking great for Dallas, and there's a little bit of extra spice here too, because the cores of these teams, Envious, the former name of the Dallas Fuel, and Lunatic High, the former name of the Seoul Dynasty. This has been a matchup that goes back to Apex and the seasons in Korea. And one thing that Envy and Dallas have never been able to do is beat Lunatic High or the Seoul Dynasty. So this is, I think they're coming in as favorites today, and this is a real chance for the Dallas Fuel to avenge their 3 losses at the hands of the Seoul Dynasty so far this season, as well as all of the previous losses that they faced back in Korea.
Honestly, I was really excited to see that Toby was in the lineup for Seoul today, too, because he is a big part of that old Lunatic High roster. It just feels appropriate, you know?
Yeah, it feels appropriate, too, because we started off this league with casting these two teams, Doa, and they have a lot of these members have such a deep history with each other, and it's always been a really exciting matchup.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you really feel the players' energy when they play against each other, too, because of this rivalry and because of this history, and we're ending the season, even though it's not with both of these teams, dominating.
Not at their peak, per se.
As we thought it would happen coming into this, because in essence, despite the current situation, especially with the Dallas Fuel looking like they've been improved, it is a disappointment. Both these teams are disappointing.
Sure.
But we'll hope that Dallas Fuel can really turn that around and make a good run at the stage 4 playoffs.
We will see. Seoul Dynasty on the attack, though, as we get things started. Toby, of course, over onto that Lucio. Just on the Symmetra for a second for a bit of scouting going on. But they are going to go ahead and go with the triple support with the Brigida.
Yeah, this is a weird defense from the Dallas Fuel. They've been running some weird defenses on Blizzard World. They played Pharah on defense last time, a hero Taimu really doesn't have experience on, and now it's just going to be a tank war in the trenches.
That's right, man. Looks like we're going back to the old triple tank meta here, but a little bit different. Still a brawl. Seagull D-Mech, though. Soul rolling forward. Mickey down. Fleta getting a few shots here, but it's really been the tanks just grinding through the members of Dallas Fuel. Zuma is so charged up already. Look at that, 70% of a grab already. Dallas pushed way off the point. They can still try to contest maybe, but it's going to be tough. No, they're just going to let him have it. Dallas going back in now, though, but the payload already started. Fleta with 2 kills. And Seoul Dynasty crushes point A.
This has been a problem point, I think, on defense for the Dallas Fuel. They have never really figured out how to play Blizzard World A defense, and this is a completely new look where they just wanted to fight for the payload. However, when you're playing with the D.Va instead of the Zarya, it's much more challenging because there's not really much for D.Va to defense matrix here. And meanwhile, that Zarya can just get supercharged and do a lot of damage to the D.Va suit, which can't be blocked.
Absolutely. A lot of ultimates for Seoul going into this push here on B, too. Let's see, grab used. Seoul Dynasty caught up in it. Big shatter from OGE. And, oh, Taimu just picking him off on the ground. That is 4 headshots from Taimu. And a clean team kill from Dallas.
Wow, just executing them one by one on the ground. Taimu,
brutal.
We've talked about him coming back into form. He's a streaky player. He's a confidence-based player. But when he is on point...
all the heads. He's clicking them all.
That is just gross.
It's hard to watch right there. Seoul Dynasty right back in it, though. They've still got ultimates to use with this one. Coming in. I love this match already, man. Here we go. Jaehong with the Transcendence. Dallas taking a bit of a break. Backing off here. Now the Widow battle. Taimu's been really good lately. Wiki gets Mickey in the Brigido battle. Now the Earthshatter comes through. Wiki down. Taimu finds that headshot. Dallas shoved back a little bit, but they haven't given up much ground yet.
This is such a classic Overwatch match between these two teams, Noah. We see the self-destruct go up just for a little bit more stall. Actually does end up getting Toby, but Seagull remax, but he's gonna have to fall back with the rest of his team. But this is classic Overwatch. This is pre-Overwatch League Overwatch right here with the 2 Lucios. You can see how easy it is to engage and disengage from these ults with the speed boost from the Lucio, and it's all a game about who's going to take the proper engagement.
That's excitement, man. 2 teams crashing into each other. Mickey getting crashed into it by a shot from Fleta here. As a 6v5, now a 6v4 as Fleta finds the kill on the Taimu as well. Air hook down, Seoul starting to pick apart the Dallas Fuel, and they got delayed a little bit, but that was a pretty quick B for Seoul.
Absolutely. Seoul rolling through, winning that first attack on A, and only held up for 1 fight on point B, so they'll find themselves with plenty of time remaining to try and take point C.
Point C has been begun by Seoul Dynasty. The Diablo zone of Blizzard World. Kind of dangerous to leave those candles all over the place, but I guess if it's all stone, maybe it's okay.
That's fine. Nothing can burn down, though. Don't worry about it.
They don't get blown up by the fire strike, but I guess it is called a fire strike. Grab goes in for Zunba. They're going to try to roll through this one. Earthshatter knocks down OG and Seagull. And Dallas Fuel just gets rocked. The payload is moving again.
Seoul wants to get in those playoffs, Doa. They know they have to win tonight.
That's the thing. It comes down to this match and the next match for Seoul Dynasty. And, you know, you need to at least put yourself in a position where that next more difficult match perhaps matters more.
A couple swaps coming through. Seagull now onto the Pharah. Finally going to take to the skies. Mickey wants to play on the Zarya. Not going to be anyone really to contest this Pharah. We'll see if maybe they can get a Widowmaker shot from Fleta.
Possibly, but doesn't look like it's a problem for Seoul yet. Fleta picks off Taimu here. Nobody can even get to the payload. A blazing fast round for Seoul Dynasty. Where were these guys earlier in the stage?
Well, I think what's interesting about this matchup already is that Seoul is choosing to play Dallas's tank game, and they're winning pretty convincingly, honestly. And if I'm the Dallas Fuel right now, I might be a little bit worried because the meta that has made the Dallas Fuel strong and the strategies that have had them seen them a lot of success are not going to work if the Dynasty can outplay them with the same compositions.
Definitely a concern for Dallas. We've got a bit of a replay to take a look at here. And it's going to be Zumba with this grab. Yeah, clever one. At the bottom of the stairway just to bring them all in. And remember, they followed this up with the Earthshatter too. So OG laid low. Seagull, of course, knocked down too. And it was pretty easy for Seoul from then on out.
Yeah, certainly was. And
324 in the time bank for Seoul Dynasty after that attack.
That was very fast indeed. I think Seoul lost literally 1 fight in that entire map. So it's hard to do it faster. But with the compositions too, the tanks do slow those team fights down a little bit. So against a different composition, they may have been able to get it a little bit quicker, but about as fast as you could ask given the comps that were used.
Seoul Dynasty, what an incredibly confusing team to watch in the Overwatch League. I mean, the talent on this team at an individual level should be immense.
Well, we can
Based
say
on
the same
what we've
about
seen.
Dallas.
Exactly. So, you know, but both of these teams, Dallas finally kind of finding their footing here in Stage 4, and Seoul really have not looked good since like Stage 1, and they didn't even make the stage playoffs in Stage 1. So it's been a rough road for both of these teams, but Seoul at least showing a bit of life here in the first half of the first map in a crucial series for them.
Absolutely. Dallas Fuel may be coming up with the Sombra here. Taimu, we'll see if he switches off of it. Looks like Seagull will stay on the Hanzo, so an unorthodox attack
Very.
from the Dallas Fuel. OG looking to see if he wants to stick onto it. No, they're going to scout out the composition with the Sombra. That's all the Sombra's for. Back to the Widowmaker.
Okay.
Seagull over to the Genji now, so they will be trying to dive with their tanks alongside Seagull.
That is going to be that normal high ground defense from Seoul Dynasty. Up there with the Junkrat raining the grenades down from above.
Yeah, this gets displaced relatively quickly on Blizzard World. It's more about playing the back corner if you're the defensive team. If you can, you know, stop this from happening. Seagull just unloading right now. We're going to block a grenade back into the choke point, but Fleta picks off OG.
Yeah, luckily Harry Hook's there for the res, so Dallas can keep this going. Oh, but now they lost Seagull, so maybe not. Fleta already in this map has been hitting a lot of shots, and it's been people that haven't been lying on the ground too.
That's been one of the complaints about Fleta the longer this league has gone on, is that he has fallen off statistically pretty harshly towards the bottom of the Widowmaker standings. And he needed to pick up his game again and start hitting these shots, but he is he's no slouch today, apparently.
No.
Right now, he's 13 limbs, 10 final blows out of his team's 24. So that's
Make that 11.
Make that 11 out of 25.
Yeah. Seagull brought back right away by Harry Hook, though. Now, Fleta really seems like he's on fire so far in map number 1. Seoul Dynasty with a couple ultimates used to delay things. Weki's got that Riptire. Let's see. Oh, and he uses it to bring down Seagull. And that's going to cause Dallas to back away again. Mickey took a lot of damage. Nearly demeched here as he flees the fight. Seoul Dynasty with a pretty good hold here on point A.
Seagull surprised by the Riptire because he dashed in right as the animation completed. Not really a chance to get away, and of course, no opportunity for res afterward. And now all of the Dallas Fuel are bottled up in this room and thinking about their options. They need to get up onto that high ground. Mickey is going to try and dodge over, gets knocked up by a mine.
Yeah, right up in the air for Fleta to take up a couple shots at. Sure, a lot of defensive matrix used there. Now, Mickey just on the point, trying to draw Seoul back to let Dallas come in. We'll see if they can do it. Seagull gets Weki. That's a good start for Dallas. Seagull down, though. Whoops. Meanwhile, OG taken off by Zunba. So, Jaehong with that Transcendence, keeping everybody nice and healthy on the point. While the res comes in onto Weki, Harry Hook brings OG back. Taimu down. Zunba chased him on the high ground. Now it's going to be the Transcendence coming in for Unko as well. Just sitting on Kuki here, but Seoul Dynasty lost Fleta, but so far they haven't been dislodged. Zin been in a little bit of trouble, uses that self-destruct. Can he get back in? The mech perhaps looks like both Divas will.
It's raining mechs, but nobody's dying on this point.
Hallelujah. It's raining mechs.
And look at this. I mean, Seoul got dislodged from the high ground, and now Taimu hits the shot onto Toby.
That's the one they needed, man. Toby being down. Weki needs a big Riptire here to counteract that one. Oh, shot on the air by Taimu. Taimu kills Riptires. It's just what he does, but Fleta apparently kills Taimu. So Seoul's still short-handed, but again, they need Toby to get back in a hurry here. Dragon Blade out. Seagull looking for the backlines. Gets Fleta, gets Jaehong. That's exactly what Seoul needed to cap off this point A. And I think they're finally going to get the payload rolling, but less than 30 seconds as they cap the point here.
Yeah, that's such a massive delay when you're looking at the time bank that the Seoul Dynasty have, but Dallas Fuel will get it done and keep their hopes alive here on Blizzard World. Swaps coming in on the side of Seoul. Of course, main tank will be changing to the Winston, and Wikid wants to play that Brigitte now that he knows the Genji is there, but swaps for the Dallas Fuel as well. So Genji will vanish, be replaced by Mickey on the Brigitte.
That's what ninjas are supposed to do, right? That's appropriate. Payload's moving. Seoul Dynasty in the side room. Not contesting just yet. They will soon, I'm sure. Yep, they are now. Meanwhile, OG trying to tickle the Zen a bit. Oh, Fleta goes wild, gets both supports. I guess Wekid still counts. He's going to come back and get Mickey. So now all the support's down for Dallas. Zimba got Taimu too. So, Seoul Dynasty with a strong hold at the beginning of B. And again, Dallas doesn't have a lot of time right now. They've only got about 2 minutes. Finish point B.
And we're going to take a look at this too. Fleta just pops out the door, finds Fairy Hook, and the stun into the automatic fire from the Widow Rifle, and that'll be it. Dallas Fuel coming up on 2 support ults to match those of Seoul Dynasty. They've got a couple good pushes left in them.
Weki was getting in position for a nice shield bash. Meanwhile, Taimu gets Jaehong, but Fleta responding again. Fleta just killing everybody right now. And Taimu's got another shot. It's a Widow battle. And Fleta has to flee. He took that first shot. Still getting chased, though. Gets back to a health pack. Not full health, but enough. Meanwhile, Dallas manages to push Seoul away. They'll move the payload. Seagull finally gets Fleta. Tracked him all the way down on the side of the side of point B.
Decent stagger as well for Fleta. Zunba senses that they may be going to point C, so he's going to try and move over to the Zarya. Kuki now on the Reinhardt, and Toby back to the Lucio.
Yep. Self-destruct comes in. It's going to be Jaehong with the Transcendence. Meanwhile, Taimu looking for those shots. Oh, Fleta goes high. Fleta, oh! Taimu took the first shot unfazed, won the duel. And meanwhile, the rest of his team winning this fight at the end of B. Look out, Jaehong. Taimu's all over you, man. He gets the kill. And Dallas should finish B. They will.
And they keep on rolling. 30 seconds left on point A, 30 seconds left on point B. And they earn themselves another minute and a half to finish this map and send us into time bank. More swaps coming through. No more Lucio for Toby. Wants to play the Mercy.
I love it. We've got the Taimu Reaper coming in too. It's been a swap that Dallas has liked to use a lot on some of these maps, and it's worked out pretty well for them generally. Fleta on the Pharah, meanwhile, over on the Seoul Dynasty side. Might be a little bit tough for the Reaper to deal with.
Yeah, I love that they swap immediately. Fleta, one of the best Pharah players we have in this league, and he'll pick up the kill onto Mickey straight away.
That's a nice concussion grenade. Taimu's going to back off. I wonder if we're going to see a swap here from Dallas. Taimu down. Kuki's just going to get him at the charge. Sends him back to spawn a bit quicker. And will he swap? I think he might.
I think he has to.
Yeah,
McCree is going to be the
McCree.
choice.
Yeah. It's a good idea. Handle the Pharah a little bit better. We know Taimu's a great McCree. So here comes Dallas again. Fleta already more than half of the way to his ultimate on that Pharah.
He's going to stay at range right now in the fall-off damage from the McCree, and it's a lot of walls for the Pharah to hover hide right here. There's the grab.
And everybody just walks in. Weki swinging away, and Dallas just dismantled during that fight. And now the Fuel only have 40 seconds left to complete point C. And they haven't really gotten a lot of distance on the payload yet, so this one might be a bit tricky.
This is going to have to be the fattest chatter of all time from OG.
Dude, OG's got some of the best stats of a main tank in stage 4. If anyone can pull it off, he certainly can. Waiting for it. They're gonna need a shatter and then some good fighting here. There's a shield bash. Zarya's shield comes through right away though, and OG drops the shatter, doesn't get anything out of it. That's a problem. Fleta with another knockoff onto Mickey, and now Zimba just walking forward, so charged up, so ready to go, and Dallas falling apart here at the end. It's going to be Unko with the Transcendence to try to keep things alive, but Fleta there with the barrage to push everybody back. The damage is too real. OG can't keep up, can't stay up, and Harry Hook on his own, not going to be able to do a whole lot. Despite the blaster fire, and Kuki even gets Seagull with the charge. That's it. Seoul Dynasty, they want these playoffs.
They do, Doa, and that, we go back to that shatter that OG had, and it was a shield bash from Wekid that interrupted his animation.
Yeah.
So there was no real hope after that great heads-up play, knowing the shatter was up. Wekid saving the shield bash to stop him cold, and Seoul Dynasty takes the first map in this series.
Well, Dallas hot in stage 4, but Seoul Dynasty came to play. Quick break, and then we'll be back with map 2 to see if they can tie it up.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel. Intel Core i7 powers the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Seoul Dynasty coming up with the kills. Everything going Dallas's way so far.
This is looking good. This is looking real good.
Dallas flips it back. This could be big.
We have an incredibly close match.
Mickey just blows him up.
Fleta finds yet another big pick. Fleta with 2. Taimu can be the hero.
All right, let's go. Crisp, clean.
One fight, one play. These are where heroes are made in Overwatch.
Welcome back, guys, to the Overwatch League. Seoul Dynasty, their playoff hopes on the line, have come to play today. The winning match 1 against the Dallas Fuel, who coming into this one, honestly, looked like the better team here in Stage 4.
I do think, though, that this map is going to be a lot worse for the Dallas Fuel, Blizzard World, that is. They really haven't had a coherent defense on that map that I think has worked through for them throughout all 3 stages. So I think as we go deeper into this series, the Dallas Fuel are going to be looking a lot better. So Seoul wins the first one very convincingly. I think the most disturbing thing to me about that win, if you're a Dallas Fuel fan, is that they were losing the tank battle. And I don't think they can continue to lose the tank battle and win this series. I think that that's been their bread and butter. That's been the way they've been winning games. So
yeah, and their biggest asset has been, of course, OG, their new tank player, doing great. I think we've got some stats to look at. This guy has been incredible here in stage number 4. Look at that. #1 in hero damage per 10, #1 in final blows, and top 5 in all those other stats. Out of all the 15 other Winston players in the league, and his Reinhardt is almost just as good.
Yeah, the thing is, he's been very flexible. They've been playing around him well. He's been hitting a lot of fantastic earth shatters.
Yeah.
He's a big playmaking tank, and I think he's exactly the player that they were looking for all season long. The acquisition of OG, I think, is going to be a boon for Dallas's future.
And a player that seems to have gelled with the other players on the team really well, too. It seems like these guys are able to coordinate things quite well, considering they haven't played together too much. So, yeah, pleasant surprise with OG coming in for Dallas, and one of the things kind of propelling them to this chance to get to the Stage 4 playoffs. We have some subs going into our next map, which is going to be Horizon Lunar Colony. It's going to be OG. Well, all right, never mind. He's already in.
He's been in fact.
He's in.
Look at him.
We're just so excited about him.
I think he looks very handsome today.
There we go, Munchkin coming in for Wecky. We just wanted to show you OG.
Great player.
Yeah, no kidding. Handsome gentleman, wonderful tank.
So, interesting, Munchkin was in all 4 maps in Seoul's previous series, but Wakid has been dominating the play time for this team this stage. So they're trying to work Munchkin back into the roster right now. Of course, as that Tracer player, you know what's going to be coming in on Horizon Lunar Colony. I assume they will be running dive on attack if they're putting Munchkin in.
Probably.
Yeah, then having him, play the Tracer potentially on that defense, or probably the Junkrat, but
yep,
we shall see.
Horizon Lunar Colony will be the next map in this 4-map series, potentially 5, depending on how things go between Seoul and Dallas. Again, just to set the stakes for you, Dallas playing for a spot in the stage playoffs here in Stage 4. That would be a first for them. And Seoul Dynasty just fighting for a spot in the overall Overwatch League playoffs. It is really do or die for them. They need to win both of their matches this week, and then they kind of need some other shenanigans to happen throughout the league to keep that spot.
Right, because the Gladiators beat Shanghai earlier today, they can no longer pass the Gladiators in the standings, and that means Philly must lose both of their games, and Seoul must win both of theirs. So their destiny is sort of only half in their hands at this stage.
But they can do their part at least. If they win against Dallas and they win their other match in the week, at least they put themselves in that position. About to go on the attack here on Horizon Lunar Colony. Here come the Seoul Dynasty. Gonna go for Jaehong on that Sombra. A little bit of a triple DPS look from them.
And this is a composition that we've seen most notably the Shanghai Dragons use.
Yep.
Dive with one of the flex supports on the Sombra. And they are going to start putting pressure on Munchkin and Jaehong, already back on the point. And there's Mickey.
Oh, that was a close call. Jaehong, though, oh, he didn't get the health pack. Oh, no, Jaehong in a lot of trouble here. If they can track him down, that's an easy kill.
The question is if they can track him down. They don't know where he is right now. He's fled over here. You can see his outline.
He's got the health back again. Oh, Taimu! It's Taimu time.
It's just Taimu.
It's Taimu. Well, Seoul on the point right now, trying to cause problems for Dallas, who have had to pull way far back to deal with players like Jaehong. Jaehong going after Taimu, gets the kill, translocates to safety. The revive comes in onto Taimu, of course, but Jaehong making his presence felt on this Sombra. why shouldn't he? It's a pick we've seen him play quite a bit. Let it down, though. Taimu gets a bit of revenge. There goes Jaehong. Of course, a headshot coming in from the sniper on Dallas again, so Seoul Dynasty has to back away a bit here.
I mean, Taimu's had all 3 of the kills so far for the Dallas Fuel. And you can see they're even mixing it up. Fleta, Farah, and then Jaehong on an attack Junkrat. Interesting. Taimu here with the quick scope, gets the shot onto Fleta, and then finds Jaehong's head.
Yep.
To clean it up.
Yeah, like you said, though, look at Seoul Dynasty right now. Jaehong on that Junkrat, Fleta over on the Farah, so Seoul really changing things up. We've seen Jaehong play a lot of random heroes over the years, but this is a new one. Junkrat is something we really haven't seen from this guy yet.
I mean, I think more teams should be running attack Junkrat in this meta against Brigitte, because if
for sure.
you could really bust through some of these barriers and the armor. Seagull going to unleash a Riptire here. It's probably going to find somebody.
Wow, what a driver. 5 stars for that tire. Well, maybe Kuki wouldn't give that rating, but I think the Dallas Fuel would. Airy hook brought low by the pulse bomb, so Seoul striking right back. They got Kuki up with the resurrection. And now Mickey gets a kill into Jaehong. So the Junkrat damage out of commission here. Seagull gets Toby. Oh, I feel like they're right on the edge, but Dallas managing to hold for now.
That was a clutch kill onto Toby. They really needed that one. What Seoul Dynasty needs to do is they need to push in, and they're trying to chunk down someone with the Far Rockets or the Junkrat grenades, and then Munchkin is going to be the one who finishes them off once they get low. So they have to get Munchkin into position first, and then sort of push the members of the Dallas Fuel into Munchkin so they get some free shots from behind.
All right, another attack coming in from Seoul Dynasty. A little over a minute in the time bank. They need to really start getting some progress here. Zunba has his self-destruct, but that's all the Seoul has for ultimates. Taimu going way around the back. Big blank. Jaehong. Oh, but he finds Fleta. He's like, hey, I got 1, right? That's enough. Trap is well taken out. Harry Hook actually finished off Jaehong.
Why not pull out the pistol of the Valkyrie, Doa?
Yeah, man. He's done the DPS before. Harry Hook knows what he's doing.
Still a ton of this armor from the rally on the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah. What a totally different map, though, than Blizzard World was. Dallas looking pretty dominant so far.
Yeah, and these, I love the way Taimu's playing, too.
Oh, goodbye. Oh, Toby.
Another important kill for Seagull. But Taimu flanking around is exactly what they need. I mean, Seoul has to sit there and sort of poke them for a while. Taimu knows that, so he's just taking the shots around the side.
And Jaehong already dead, too. OG got a nice pick there. Seoul Dynasty has a ton of ultimates coming into this next one. They need to really make them work. They can't lose people before they make this push. Fled and Kuki hiding out as the rest of the team comes in. But here comes a Riptire. Seagull looking for a big one, and he finds it. Kuki ran down by the Riptire. Now Seoul Dynasty sends in their own. Jaehong looking for a big pick. He gets Mickey. Meanwhile, Fleta gets 2. Oh, he gets 2 with the barrage. And Munchkin with the final blow. Zunba even with the icing on the cake. And Seoul Dynasty somehow manages to grab point A at the end.
But if you're Dallas Fuel, Doa, that's fine. Because they used all their ultimates, and because Kuki went in early, he made a mistake. He thought his teammates were with him, and he didn't use his Primal Rage, so they had to dump everything into the fight afterward.
Yeah. A great barrage from Fleta. I mean, we know he's a great Farah player. Seoul Dynasty only has the Primal Rage, but they've got a new lease on life. About 3:40 on the clock to assault B.
No snowball possibility, though. And Seoul came into that fight with such an overwhelming advantage, and they had to spend even more than they would have liked.
Yeah. Wow. Jaehong playing more than 15 different heroes for more than 2 minutes this season, which is a decent amount of game time. Oh, Taimu. Oh, nice shot. A lot of heroes for Jaehong on the flex support role, although I guess he was a tank for a little while. I put that out of my memory at this point, Monty. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about the Ryu Jae Kong. No thanks. All right, here we go. Kuki with the Primal Rage. Dallas Fuel comes in with full support ultimates blazing. Now Kuki has to jump to the back lines. OG takes down Fleta. And that Primal Rage is maybe one that Seoul would want back. And now, Dallas actually taking the fight to them. Very aggressive moves from Dallas, but just a bit of pressure here. Seoul trying to counter.
Rally up for Mickey now. Going to use that right away. Matched by Munchkin on the side of the Dynasty, and they're going to be coming in.
Oh, Zunba's mech got removed, and so did Zunba. So Seoul not getting quite as much out of that rally after losing the Diva.
That should be a fun fight with all the armor on both teams. Zunba respawns and joins the rest of his teammates. Couple support ultimates right now. This next one's going to be a bit grindy. Taimu, of course, going to be standing behind Mickey's shield. And we have two Brigittes staring each other down across the moon base.
No one's got a Widowmaker behind her, though, so slightly more threatening. Taimu still waiting for those shots.
No one can hide from my sight.
Empress right up. You can see through walls, as can the rest of his team for a little while. Self-destruct thrown in there. Ooh, Munchkin loses his shield. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. OG moving in with the Primal Rage now. Seoul Dynasty just kind of trying to wait all these ultimates out, but looks like they're doing that pretty well, honestly. Oh, Jaehoong with a big pick on the Taimu. This is the chance. Seoul Dynasty going in. Taimu back up again, but it's been enough time for Fleta to find another pick on him. Taimu down again. Oh, but Kuki taken out by Mickey. Nice shield bash combo. Toby there to resin back up again. So Seoul Dynasty not out of this one yet. Unko down. And Dynasty seem like they're kind of pushing through here. There goes Mickey. Now Dallas starting to sweat a bit. OG knocked out of the air. Harry Hook trying to survive. Valkyrie ending right now, and he's going to get sent packing. Kuki needs some health here, but yeah, he's going to get it. Taimu tries to get back in with the Tracer, does not last, and now it's just some respawns. Self-destruct, and all right. Munchkin with 2, actually, wow. All right, Seoul Dynasty trying to finish off whatever Dallas throws at him now.
OG getting healed up, flooded down, crucially, and OG coming back onto the point now.
That could be big. They're not done just yet, but here comes the self-destruct. Shield is there to block it, though. OG gets Jaehoong, too.
Jaehoong died with the trance up, Doa.
Oh, man. Seoul Dynasty was so close. I don't know if they can push through. I don't think they can push through yet. They've only got 20 seconds remaining, too. Really vital picks at the end from Taimu.
Yeah, basically half a push right now. Flood is going to switch to the Tracer to get back in time. Kuki going to respawn with 10 seconds remaining.
Yep.
They're going to rally quickly before they come to the point.
Taimu hiding, here we go. Seoul Dynasty back on the point. They just need that one tick. Munchkin has the rally too. They use the armor. They go in. Dallas feels spread out. Trying to defend. Jaehoong's got that transcendence from the last fight. Now they're kind of happy they've got it as they use it to roll over Mickey. Seagull getting a lot of healing.
Taimu got Toby.
Grind him down, but yeah, now without Toby, Seoul in a lot of trouble. Mickey brought back up again. It's looking okay for Dallas. Seoul needs to turn it around here. Taimu trying to find these shots. Kuki gets Mickey. Oh, Seagull catches Zunba with the self-destruct before he can remake. And Dallas is looking pretty good here. On point B, they will hold.
Got hairy there for a second, but that's when Taimu comes out and gets the kill onto Toby. Couple big picks, and we're gonna take a look at one of those replays from Taimu right now with a 2K at the end of the map.
This has been a great Widow battle between Taimu and Fleta. That one, not so great for Fleta. But Dallas will take this any day of the week, man. I mean, Taimu, he just a few weeks ago, it's like, wow, this guy is, it's old Taimu, he's back.
Everybody's happy to everybody's happy to see it too. Always fun to have these high skill players performing at their peak of what we know they are capable of in this league. And so Dallas feel looking significantly better on Horizon than they did on Blizzard World, and they only have to make it basically through point B. 98% was how far Seoul got, and those last 2% denied by the Dallas Fuel.
Seagull flexing his wings there.
Just gotta keep your wings limber, right?
That's right, absolutely, man. If you want to fly to the stage 4 playoff. Mickey looking uncharacteristically serious there, actually. Whoa.
It means a lot, obviously, for both of these teams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, both teams fighting for playoffs, but different playoffs. Dallas going for stage 4, Seoul going for the overall Overwatch League playoffs.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
See what Dallas has in mind. Seagull on the May. It wouldn't be unheard of, but it would be pretty surprising. Although if anyone's going to do it, it'd be Seagull.
I do think that it could, in theory, be interesting if you know they're going to run a high ground defense, because you could run to the point and then split them off.
Yeah, that might be the plan.
He's not going to do it.
Okay.
We got excited.
Yeah, you could run a Lucio with that, speed boost him in there, but nope. It'll be the Genji from Seagull. So Taimu on the Sombra, Seagull on the Genji. Seoul Dynasty looking to hold early if they want to go up 2-0 in the series. Oh, Jaehoong in a kind of a dangerous spot. He's out in space.
Taimu actually underneath the formation of the Seoul Dynasty right now. The rest of his team coming around to join him. Nice hold,
Whoa,
though.
whoa, Harry and
Okay.
Seagull down early. And Munchkin playing the Widowmaker role this time around.
Seoul read that attack very well, and Munchkin also just take out Unko as they round the corner. They do find Taimu on the Sombra.
Yeah.
Taimu did get up to 50% of an EMP, but look how much ult charge Fleta got by patiently waiting for the members of the Dallas Fuel to stack up in that little room. Riptire is ready.
Yeah, he got himself a full ultimate. All right, here comes Dallas again for attack number 2. Munchkin ready and waiting, though. Different position than you see Widowmaker sit in a lot on this map. Usually you see them taking advantage of that high ground defense, the Orisa shield, but no, Munchkin on the side on the low ground.
Yeah, Taimu's actually threatening the back cap right now.
Oh, Seagull's coming for him, though. Oh, and there's Fleta with the Riptire. OG falling down early. Munchkin takes a big chunk out of Taimu, forces a translocate. Meanwhile, Fleta taking names, and those names are Harry Hook and Seagull. And Unko. 3 names. All right.
He's taking all the names.
That's right, yep.
Of the Dallas Fuel, though. Taimu and Mickey left alive, but for how much longer? Taimu's not going to have the chance to sneak away with a tick on the point.
That was close, but they managed to chase him away. And Seoul Dynasty looking really good on the defense here. Tons of ultimates to work with. Yet another Riptire close for Fleta, too.
More delays in store. Taimu still being annoying here on the side. Kuki was chasing him all the way back.
Yeah.
They know where he is, obviously, with the infrasight, and Taimu is me hanging out next to the spawn. Yes, you have been detected by the infrasight.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Hard to stealth through the infrasight. All right, it's gonna be the self-destruct sent in. Meanwhile, Munchkin looking for some more shots on the side. Goes high, here comes the Riptire, and Fleta finds Seagull. Can they get the res and keep the push going? Harry Hook brings him back up again. Yep, they can, but Munchkin gets Unko. Oh boy. Munchkin finding a lot of shots on this Widowmaker, now under threat here. Meanwhile, takes a chunk out of Harry Hook. Nearly got the kill there, too. Harry Hook down to like 1. Down now, Fleta finds the finishing blow, and it's just 1:20 now for Dallas on the attack, but they're the ones with the ultimate advantage now.
Yes, they are, but the problem is they're going to have to dump them just like Seoul did to make it 2-point B, which is going to eliminate the possibility
Probably.
of a snowball and a quick victory for Dallas. Taimu back, capping the points again. Does translocate out quickly as soon as Zunba finds him. He's coming back in with another EMP, or his first EMP, actually.
That's right. That EMP could be big. Taking a lot of fire here.
Yeah, they're trying to make sure he can't stealth. This is really annoying if you're a Sombra player because the Diva cannons just make it so difficult for you to sneak up.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of covering so much fire. Seagull gets the supercharger. Here we go. Munchkin with the kill to Unko, though. They got to cover that res. Jaehoong pops a Transcendence here. Dragon Blade out for Seagull. Goes after Jaehoong, and he gets him. Toby brings Fleta back, but they're going to need more. Simba getting cut out of his mech right now. Oh, Fleta, though. What an important res to bring that guy back. Sends in the Riptire for the D-mech onto Mickey in the end. And now Dallas Fuel really reeling. Unko only has the Transcendence. That is it for ultimates for Dallas.
But if Unko had died at the start of that fight, they would have had a trance there and then been able to survive through Fleta. That was a big pick to start things off, and it's desperation time for the Fuel.
OG in by himself and out by himself as well. Unko speed boosts his way in there with the Transcendence, but it's only the supports. They can't quite handle it. There they go, and Dallas with a decent hold on B, but they will be unable to claim point A. Seoul Dynasty will go up 2-0 in the series.
Wow. This is definitely not the result I think anybody expected, but Dynasty seemingly dominant tonight. And Horizon, Horizon used to be one of their best maps. They used to be undefeated on Horizon, came in, fell on some hard times in stage 4, but that is an ironclad defense.
Well, you gotta say, Seoul Dynasty wants those playoffs. They're one map away from staying alive at least. Let's see if they can handle it after the break. A little bit of halftime first. We'll see you then.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, Doa, thanks for the ride.
No problem.
I've got something you've got to hear. This car has a pretty good sound system, right?
Yeah, the best.
Excellent. Because we're going to need to hear the whole range to really appreciate this. It's a thing of beauty. You ready?
I am as ready as I'll ever be.
This is Monte Cristo, and today we're going to take a look at a strategic breakdown of the latest match between the Los Angeles Gladiators and the Seoul Dynasty.
Of all
right
the
off the bat, we're going to get a couple of environmental kills. But
I hear it.
At the
I feel like I've heard this one before.
It's
like honey dripping into your ears, all of the treble and the bass working together in perfect harmony.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
It's like an
Ancient Norse deity decided to open his mouth and...
You just don't appreciate art.
That's it. That is definitely it.
Shamelessly original, the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
Seoul is fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, and after getting the win on Blizzard World, they full hold on Horizon Lunar Colony and are now up 2-0 at the half over the Fuel. Welcome back to the Blizzard Arena, everybody. It's Puckett Bren. We got Sideshow, and somewhere behind us, I was looking for him. Where's the Seagull? He's going to show up here soon.
He's been silenced.
We've seen some Seagull in the game, but mostly on the death feed. Seoul Dynasty is coming out on top so far here, fellas. And I want to start with you, Brett, because you were so disappointed.
Oh.
I had high expectations for this team. They're up 2-0 over the team you predicted to win.
They are up 2-0, but let me tell you this one, mate. I'm going to hit you with some cold, hard numbers, statistics, bro. Maths, quick maths. 2 + 2 is 4.
I'm writing them down.
1,
Go ahead.
3, quick maths. Let's go. Look at these win rates, though, bro. Seoul, absolutely atrocious this stage when it comes to Blizzard World on Horizon. This is an upset so far from what we're seeing. Dallas have been looking very good on Blizzard World, looking very good on Horizon, but honestly, I feel like I've given Seoul the push they needed. You know,
it's you.
I threatened them by dissolving their team towards the end of my monologue.
You have that power.
And now they're like, oh my goodness, what have we been doing? They've been awoken from this haze that they've been drifting through for the past couple of weeks.
Josh, do you know what the best part of speaking Korean is?
Yeah.
Not having to listen to Brett.
Exactly. I think I would put way more of the credit on their coaching staff.
Sure.
And the addition of Toby back
also
into the lineup as well. I wouldn't give any of the credit to you, Bren. No, but the Seoul Dynasty, the reason that this is such an upset here is not that Dallas Fuel are playing terribly or Seoul are playing what they did before but making it better. They're coming at us with a whole different look, playing much more Lucio. Toby wasn't really playing the Mercy for a large portion of that, playing tanks at times, weird triple DPS with a Junkrat and a Pharah. It's been really good from the Seoul Dynasty, and you can see that when the pressure is on, this team actually can perform. They can be good, guys.
And one of their strengths in Korea was always countering their opponent, right? They had time, they knew who they were going to be playing. There you go, guy. Just want to scratch the little that's out weird. Let's get into video games so we can get this creepy bird off camera. We're going into Blizzard World to open things up. This was map number 1, and God, I'm sweating now. Let's start here with Taimu and his 4K. Mr. Good Aim is back.
Yeah, he definitely is. And I mean, this is an interesting one because a lot of these win conditions that Dallas gets set up for is Taimu himself playing well, which he was in this match, but Seoul Dynasty were coming at them with a completely different look, like you said earlier, Josh.
Seoul have never played this.
I absolutely love that they're finally turning this around and are actually now seemingly playing well. It seems a lot more of their engagements are clean. They know exactly what they're doing when it comes into these team fights.
The setup is there.
The setup is definitely there as well. And this is something I noticed, really started to notice more and more at Horizon as well. They knew the win conditions coming into the fight. And although it looked like a couple of times like Cookie was feeding, he was actually just setting up the team fight so that his team could get positioning a lot of the times. And this is like, we haven't seen it before. We knew that they're capable of team, essentially. Seoul, we knew what they could do.
They needed to find something that fit them.
They needed somebody to pressure them with a mono. That's what I
don't think that was what it was. But you can see here Toby playing a lot more Lucio on Blizzard World with the tank composition. And this increases the tempo to a pace that Seoul Dynasty are much more comfortable with. And we normally see this coming out from Dallas, actually. Look at that as well. Game-winning play right there. Because OG has that Earth Shatter. Monty called it had to be the biggest of all time. And Wiki just shield bashes him out of the animation. This composition that the Seoul Dynasty tried to push with, going from a triple DPS over to more, well, it was a triple DPS, but much more spammy with Ryu Jehong on the Junkrat. Took him 2.5 minutes to charge his tire, but by the time he actually gets it, they're in a position and they make great use of it alongside Fleder's Barrage. But it's really been all about the defense here for Seoul Dynasty on Horizon.
Absolutely.
And previously they had been so poor at this map that the fact that they're able to win Horizon, I think they might sweep this entire series because they've always
These were the
been
maps
good.
that Dallas was supposed to win, essentially, in this matchup.
Particularly Horizon. I thought they might even get full held on Horizon, but their attack, in the end, it was in overtime, but it worked. And if you can make it work on your worst map that you have not won all stage, this is a totally different Seoul Dynasty. I'm not disappointed anymore.
Honestly, I am now hopeful. They have reignited
That's
the
where
fire
they get
in
you,
my
though.
heart.
That's where they get you.
Maybe, yes, you might be
Reverse
right.
sweep incoming, Josh?
I don't want to say it, but it might happen. I don't think it is. But if
Can you make up your mind?
Well,
I
think they're going to sweep it. But as I'm saying, you always get the little hope with Seoul Dynasty, and then they crush it.
Brett,
so I'm
he's
just hoping they don't
the
crush it.
questions that I asked.
I'm angry.
Don't interrupt him. He's answering. Angry Brett, any final thoughts before we let you go here at halftime?
Let's watch some more Overwatch. I want to see whether or not I'm going to be right or wrong.
I know what's going to happen. I'm going to look great because I picked the Seoul Dynasty. You guys are going to hear about it the entire car ride home. Guys, that's going to do it for halftime. But before we go, I need to remind everyone at home, go vote right now. The All-Star voting is powered up by Intel, and it's live right now. All we need is you guys to help us pick the best players in the league. Just head over to blizz.ly/all-star game, log into your Blizzard account, and tell us who you think should start the All-Star game for the Pacific and Atlantic Division. Remember, voting ends Sunday, so hurry up, get those votes in before the end of Stage 4. That's going to do it. I'm going to go hang out with this creep. We'll see you guys in just a few.
Whoa.
Hey, buddy. The first ever Overwatch League playoffs live in Los Angeles at Blizzard Arena. Tickets are on sale now at access.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch League. Dallas Fuel versus Seoul Dynasty. Right now, Seoul Dynasty up 2-0, looking a little bit grim for the Dallas Fuel, isn't it?
Yeah, shocking, especially because Seoul has not played well on Horizon this stage. And they come back, get the full hold, and it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Dallas Fuel, you know, we've seen Seoul Dynasty up 2 games before, so...
We have.
I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be like the person who brings the party down, but Seoul Dynasty needs to keep this up. But honestly, like, this is better than we've seen them all stage, I think.
Yeah, I think that even though we have seen them up 2-0 and then have them reverse swept later on, they've actually looked a lot surprisingly strong on these first couple of maps.
I agree. And, and I don't want to say anything bad about the Dallas Fuel right now because I might actually die. We've got a substitution Wekid coming in for Seoul Dynasty. No, don't worry, we're okay. We're okay, guys, don't worry. No birds were harmed in the making of this bridge.
Except for Seagull in the first 2 maps.
That's right. Seagull was harmed a little bit, but the Seagull man in the studio was just fine. Yep. AKM subbing in for Taimu. Just another day on the Overwatch League.
That's right. We do have fun here, though. We do.
We do. Believe it or not. It may not look like it, but we have tons of fun. And it's going to be Oasis, our next map. In this match here, another chance for Seoul Dynasty to stay in this one. And again, you know, just to kind of put the stakes out there, I feel like it's important. If you're just tuning in now, Seoul Dynasty needs a win if they want to have a chance at the overall Overwatch League playoffs. Dallas Fuel looking for a stage playoff spot. They could really use a win for here today too. Ooh, Fleta, close distance versus Taimu. And there goes Unko Wekid. Meanwhile, on the Pharah, out above the traffic here, a dangerous place to be. But luckily, all the cars are pretty low, so. Meanwhile, Seagull on that Pharah. Looks like the point's going to be claimed first by Seoul Dynasty. Dallas Fuel pushed off it a bit too much.
And look at that, Fleta just cleaning up the point. Harry Hook and AKM finding themselves in Fleta's crosshairs, and OG died during the resurrection of Unko.
Yep.
And that means an early first point here for the Seoul Dynasty. And now they're going to play aggressive, trying to punish the Dallas Fuel as they cross this open space, but no kills to be had.
You know, it's kind of like going back to what we saw in Blizzard World, where Seoul Dynasty has been kind of beating Dallas at their own game, compositionally, and they're going to try to kind of keep doing the same thing here, it looks like.
But nearly there with the infrasight, so that'll slow the Dallas Fuel down some more as it pops right now.
And Wekid, ooh. Oh man, he might find Harry Hook. One more shot on him. Can't quite land it. And now taking some fire from Mickey. Harry Hook down though. Fleta finishes the job. AKM taking on as well. There's the air-to-air from Wekid.
And that setup was so good from the Seoul Dynasty because the infrasight was still up and Fleta was on the flank. And what the Seoul Dynasty knew was that even if Wekid didn't get the kill onto Harry Hook, he was going to force him down behind the barrier into Fleta's crosshairs on the flank. So,
beautiful.
Well set up play for the Seoul Dynasty as they back off once again and they approach 75%.
Hey.
And 5 ults.
Yeah, I was about to say, Seoul Dynasty with a wealth of ultimates to use here in the next fight. Oasis, anything but so far for Dallas Fuel. And here we go. It's going to be Mercy ultimates used on both sides. One air-to-air lands for Wekid. He's got that barrage too, coming in from behind. Will he use it? Sneaking in behind Seagull, takes a shot though. Has to get over to that health pack. That was a dangerous moment. AKM finishes him though. Right into the shot of the Widowmaker he went. Meanwhile, Fleta fighting it out on the ground. Mickey's going to jump out of the mech. Doesn't get shot before he lands here, but there's a barrage. Seagull waiting for him, gets Toby as well, and Dallas buying themselves perhaps a new lease on life here on City Center.
They do, Noah, and I'm very surprised Jaehong decided to use that Transcendence at the end because Wekid died deep in Dallas territory. Yeah, they were going to be a player down, and they had already forced the ultimates from the Dallas Fuel. There was a chance just to come back and retake at 99, and instead the Seoul Dynasty, they overcommit, they reset themselves, and they give Dallas a good chance to run it all the way back.
And they do. Seagull dancing around on the top of the buildings, as seagulls often do. They stalk people and dance. That's what they're known for. Oh, AKM Pops Weckid out of the air.
Yeah, point blank
Ooh,
too.
1 HP! AKM doesn't get much closer than that. Fleta, what? Are you kidding me?
As well.
What
Comes
is
back
this?
down with the Orb of Harmony on him.
Using that verticality. What is this? Some unnamed battle royale game?
He's coming back down from on high, Noah.
No kidding. Seoul Dynasty with a good amount of ultimates here, though. Next attack could be rough for Dallas to push back.
Seoul coming back in. They built up some of their ultimates, but Dallas didn't have to use any really on that last defense, as they have the infrasight now to track the Seoul Dynasty members coming in. Seagull gets too far forward, but AKM will punish Fleta.
No kidding, AKM ready, up to the challenge in the Widow v Widow. No doubt, Wecky takes a shot. They need him to stay alive. They need that barrage to flip the point back. Self-destruct to use. Meanwhile, Toby has that Valkyrie out. Jaehong finishes off OG. That could be big. And now Wecky gets the other tank with the barrage. AKM there for the revenge, but Seoul Dynasty looking pretty good in this fight. Rez comes in on OG, though, so Dallas not done yet. Unko takes out Jaehong, so Dallas actually surviving pretty well. There goes Toby. 96% for Dallas, getting closer to 99. And I'm not sure if Seoul can get back to the point in time to try to really contest this. It's just Kuki and Wecky close by on the Pharah.
It is Kuki with the Primal Rage, though, so he's going to be able to buy a little bit of time at least. Wikid now on the point, but that's going to be Kuki falling. Toby, Jaehong, Wikid, and maybe Fleta can get there in time.
I mean, Fleta, can get there, but he's just Widowmaker. You can't really take a point with Widow. There goes Wecky. Toby on the Lucio now can be a bit elusive, but not enough. Dallas with a kill there. Seagull finishes him off. 99 to 99 here. Barrage from Seagull to keep the rest of Seoul Dynasty out. Kuki waiting for his chance to jump in. As Zunba trying to stay alive on that Tracer, can't quite do it. Here comes Kuki. What a delay from Seoul, but it seems like they're delaying the inevitable. It will be Dallas taking City Center.
And what a run back from Dallas. 99% for the Seoul Dynasty. A big overcommitment when it comes to ultimates, but Dallas is right there waiting to punish it. And that's a great ending to that map for the Dallas Fuel, keeping their heads in the game and putting themselves up 1-0 on Oasis.
Let's check out a replay from OG here, making a difference on the Winston. Getting Toby, of course, I think, with that Primal Rage. Yeah, finish on the Fleta, too. So, OG, I mean, there's a reason why statistically he is probably one of the best, if not the best, main tank in Stage 4.
Absolutely, and he knew that there wasn't going to be enough damage there with just the Widowmaker, the Pharah already dead, to take him out of the Primal Rage. Goes for the play, and now Dallas Fuel on the Reinhardt. Mickey with the Zarya, and they will be operating with a single DPS.
Yeah.
AKM on the McCree.
OG. Reinhardt yelling, bring it on. Well, I think that's exactly what Seoul wants to do. They want those playoffs. Dallas Fuel wants to make it to their stage playoffs. AKM with an early pick onto Jaehong. That's a good start. Toby drops back for the res. Soon been a lot of trouble here, though. Barely enough healing to survive the plinking from AKM. Bit more damage, yep. And it's going to be Dallas Fuel trying to control the point. First, Fleta with a kill via his McCree. And that's going to be Dallas, though, taking the point first.
I mean, they take it in a 4 versus 5, though. 4 versus 6, actually. And that's Seoul Dynasty not pushing forward right now. Finally, they get healed up, and a lot of them were chunked out.
Into the shield of Mickey, but Fleta does push everybody back. He's got the Deadeye, too. That's going to be Seoul flipping it back again. Wow, what a point already.
It's just been a back and forth on the point itself. Both McCrees were trying to get flanks in, flicking away at those tanks, and now Wikid trying to slow up these healers on their approach. Seoul takes over in terms of control percent and moves into the lead on University.
Ultimates for Seoul available too. Zimba, Fleta, Jaehong. Wikid's getting very close. Oh, and here we go, the combo. Seagull absorbing as much as he can with that defensive matrix. Still gets demeched in the end, but AKM gets the kill. And now the grab coming in on the other side. Fleta loading up that Deadeye, zoning things out again. AKM has his up too.
Oh boy, looks like a Zarya shield blocked the Deadeye onto Fleta at the very end.
In that way. Ooh, Seagull nearly demeched. Did they get it? Meanwhile, Dallas gets the point. Unko down though. Kuki with the charge. Gonna take Mickey for a ride. And crucially dodge the sign to get him so far away to get healing too. That was a really nice charge from Kuki. Gonna block a self-destruct and Seoul right back on it again. They're gonna flip it.
This has been a wacky university point. The fight has been going virtually continuously and it's just been tilting back and forth like a seesaw.
This university is looking like clown college, man.
It's a good way to put it.
Absolutely insane. 53% now for Seoul. They managed to keep a lead in the control percent at least.
Another grab for Zunba now. They have enough CC and damage to really chain this together. They have the Earth Shatter to follow up if they need to buy themselves a little more time, and the Deadeye there as well.
Yep.
So Dallas approaching with some caution right now. OG trying to throw out some fire strikes, but there you go.
Deadeye, gotta get rid of that shield. He gets Mickey. That's good enough.
But it costs him his life. The thing is, Cookie had to charge OG out of the grab to open up the Deadeye shot. And Cookie is killed in the meantime, now brought back up.
Yep. I was worried. They knew they could get the res. A worthy sacrifice. Dallas Fuel needs a big play here. Already close to 99% for Seoul Dynasty. It's going to be a Valkyrie early for Harryhook as they move in. Cookie with a chance at a big Earth Shatter here. Got to win that shield war with OG. Meanwhile, it's High Noon. Ooh, bounce forward onto Kuki. He's in a lot of trouble. A lot of pressure on this guy. They keep him alive with Jaehong's Transcendence. Fleta gets OG meanwhile. Grab, but the shield is strong. Now the Earth Shatter comes through. Harryhook knocked down, taken out by Jaehong. Had that right click loaded up, and Zunba's gonna finish everybody else. That's gonna be Seoul Dynasty, removing Dallas Fuel from the equation. We are tied here on Oasis.
And this map is the Dynasty's playoff hopes on the line for the season. If they can win here, they can close out this series and at least keep themselves in the running.
Yeah. We got a replay to take a look at. So many possibilities from that one. Here's Fleta. Some nice shots on the Seagull. Nice flashbang. Works out, closing things out for Seoul Dynasty. And like you said, Monty, it doesn't get Seoul Dynasty into the playoffs to win this series, but it does at least keep their chances alive. Remember, they need to win both of their matches this week and have Philly lose both of their matches. It's a long shot, but hey, you do what you can, right? And what Seoul can do is win this match. That's the first thing.
That's it, and
it's the first step.
They're gonna try and close it up here. Dallas, they want to win this series. They want that reverse sweep because it'll make it a lot more likely for them to make it into the stage playoffs here and have a shot at that $100,000 for first place.
Yeah, they're currently sitting in 4th in the stage standings. Definitely their best results so far in a stage in the Overwatch League. Been a good team, but Seoul Dynasty has looked much better today than they have all stage. AKM with a kill on the Kuki though to start things off. Dallas feels certainly threatening here, and yeah, Seoul Dynasty gonna have to give up the point early on Gardens.
And they need to pull back right now. They do delay it slightly with their remaining tank and supports.
Yeah,
but
don't give
eventually
anyone else up too, which is nice.
And Fleta's all the way back towards the Dallas Fuel spawn right now. He's just hanging out there. So they haven't been able to track him down. He may be able to surprise them with this Widowmaker by setting up a crossfire. He's waiting for the rest of his team who's now assembled at the point. So it's go time for Fleta.
Yeah. Gotta do something here. Something unexpected. Be the assassin. Play the lore. Kill the Zenyatta first. Harryhook down. Jaehoong gets one. All right, Wiki takes out AKM. It's working out so far for Seoul Dynasty. Fleta just walking across the point. Gets the kill on the Seagull, though, in the air, and then another headshot onto Mickey. Watch out for that self-destruct, though. He gets behind cover just in time. Seoul Dynasty flips the point.
Well, that's self-destruct, however. Mickey was the last one left alive, so there's not a lot of point to using it. Doesn't really delay the point at all, and now you don't have that ultimate for any future stalls.
Yeah.
You might need it for.
Meanwhile,
you wish you had that one back.
Well, in for sight for both teams. Everybody knows where everybody is. What can they do with that knowledge, though? That's the question. Fleta taking a lot of damage here. Meanwhile, the air-to-air. Oh, Unko finishes off Wiki. One more rocket will do it for Wiki. Goes in, gets Seagull. aggressive moves. Now he drops a barrage onto AKM and Seoul Dynasty in a position to maybe keep holding this. OG with the primal rage, but he can't seem to quite pin anybody down. As I say that though, Toby gets chased, gets taken out. Seoul needs their mercy. Luki a little bit low, he needs his mercy right now. Dynasty has to give it up.
And they have to give it up, and another self-destruct used late when there wasn't a possibility of stalling out that point. This time, however, it's by Zunba.
Interesting.
As Seoul Dynasty back off as the Dallas Fuel take the lead here on Gardens.
Nikki with the Sehebok Mani Pajuseo spam on the diva. Means Happy New Year in Korean. Jaehong coming right in with the kill in the AKM. What a start to that fight. Raj ready for Seagull. Mickey gets kooky with the self-destruct. Dallas not going to give this point out without a fight.
Unko is fragging out on the Seoul DPS this point.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Picking up Wikid. Wikid went deep to try and solo him.
There was a transcendence in there from Jaehong, and I really don't know about that one. Seoul Dynasty, not a lot of people there to benefit from it, but Zunba manages to stay alive long enough to get AKM. Trying to get back to the point, gets that charge cooldown just in time, and Seoul Dynasty, they lost people early, but they brawled this one out. And they flip it back. What a crazy series.
This has been so back and forth from both of these teams.
Man.
Seoul Dynasty sitting on a Valkyrie right now. Seagull preserved his barrage at the end of that fight. They are going to have the fuel that is 2 support ultimates coming into this next one.
Dallas, 90%. So close to getting themselves back into this series. Back into the running for the stage playoffs. Really could use this win.
There's a lot of ground being given up by Seoul right now. They're tentative about touching this point.
Oh, boy.
Beautiful barrage.
Super aggro move by Seagull pays off. Toby, though, gets the headshot to bring it back again. The Mercy's still alive. No, he's not. OG with the kill. And Dallas flips it back. Seoul Dynasty reeling here. They are on the verge of losing Oasis and letting Dallas back into this series. 98-99. We're into overtime. Fleta managed to stall it out with a swap onto the Tracer. Seoul Dynasty in position to come back here. Fleta down, but they can still push in with 5. Dallas really wants to get back into this series. It's going to be a transfer both ends right away. AKM trying to just stay alive on the point. Backing up a little bit. Zunba, ooh, does he have the, oh, no he doesn't. Oki with that barrage. Oh, he down Unko, gets another one. He's been a hero in this map, in this point. And Dallas Fuel, it looks like they've got it. Fleta, the last one standing, he gets taken out. And the Dallas Fuel will take Oasis. They are still alive in this series.
They are. The first step to the reverse sweep is complete for the Dallas Fuel. Unko fragging out on Gardens, and Seagull with a great barrage at the end too, realizing that he was going to have an opportunity to swoop in and take out the Dynasty from close range.
Now Dallas Fuel down 0-2 before the second half. Now bringing it back rather. We'll come back with map 4 after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel Core i7 powers the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
You have to be able to be part of a team. You need to be at the right place at the right time.
They know exactly what they want to do every fight.
People talk about history. I want to be in that discussion.
Welcome back, everyone. A tough first half for the Dallas Fuel, but they just brought it back on map number 3. Now, during halftime, I actually got to talk to the Dallas coach, Arrow, about their performance in that first half. And he told me that they were honestly really surprised at what they saw coming out of the Seoul Dynasty. Their positioning, their composition, everything they saw was just nothing they've seen the Seoul Dynasty do before. So they were not just thrown off, they also didn't quite know how to react. So this is something they really heavily wanted to focus on in that second half. And he also told me that, you know what, like the first 2 maps, we kind of played our standard thing, nothing out of the ordinary. For the second half, we're gonna dig a lot deeper into our strategic box of Pandora and come up with something you guys probably haven't seen us do before. So let's see what else they have in store for us on map number 4 and if they can tie up the series. Either way, he said whether they win or lose, they are very proud of what they have achieved this very stage, how they got the team back together and in a good shape and in a good spot. And they promised us that they will turn it up in their game against the Valiant on Friday. So that is a promise from the Dallas Fuel. And he's behind me, isn't he? Is he? Yeah, all right, I'm having enough of it. It's time to address the bird in the room. You know what? Come on here. This is actually something I always kind of wanted to do. It's inspired by Profit a little bit. And I'm gonna do it in camera. I'm gonna flick that bird. I'm not gonna get fired. I know it's flipping the bird, but he's way too big and he looks like he's actually fighting back, but I did it. I still have a job for now, and back to the casters.
Thank you, Zoe. Sorry, $1,000 fine, 4-game suspension. That's it. It's coming down from on top. Well, there you go.
Fantastic.
It's a silly day at the Overwatch League. Yes.
As usual.
Haha, indeed. Well, you know what's not so silly is Dallas Fuel coming back, winning Oasis in style, staying alive in this series, and Seoul Dynasty, I think, starting to sweat a little bit. I mean, they need this win to keep their hopes alive to get to the overall playoffs, and this is a team that has never made it to a stage playoffs. They've been, like, mediocre at best, and so even if they kind of limp their way into the playoffs, you're gonna want to expect a lot more from them when we actually get there. But it's a long road, and I don't know. It looks like they might even struggle today.
Yeah,
they are struggling today.
Yeah, they are struggling today, and I'm sure that those seeds of doubt are being sown in their minds right now about previous reverse sweeps that they have suffered. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in them, but we'll see if they can close it out. It has been rough for them, especially in map 5s this stage.
Yep. We're going to Dorado for map number 4. It's going to be our escort map here at the Overwatch League. Dallas Fuel versus Seoul Dynasty. Man, what an end to the playoff hopes for the Seoul Dynasty would it be to have those ends, have those hopes. Wow, okay, hold on. Let me start that sentence over.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was distracted by the seagull guy. My brain turned off.
That's what happens whenever Doa sees a seagull, by the way.
That's true. My brain just...
You just can't go to the beach with him.
No. No, it's like I'm like Golden Boy. I'm afraid of the ocean. He told us he's afraid of whales and the ocean, apparently. All right. Anyway, Dallas Fuel, made up of Envious originally, the core of this team. Seoul Dynasty, the core made up of Lunatic High from Korea. Seoul/Lunatic High has always won at their meetings versus Envious/Dallas. To have it happen the other way around, when playoffs are on the line, what an end for Seoul that would be. So, see if they kind of keep their hopes alive and keep their streak alive against this team.
And Seoul Dynasty is going to be running a different look on this attack. They typically have preferred to go with the Roadhog a lot of the time on attack on this map, but instead they're going to go back to the Widowmaker and the Pharah, the composition that they struggled with just now when it came to playing on Oasis.
Wekid hovering above on that Pharah as the payload starts to move through. And Mickey, okay, Seagull gets an early kill into Jaehong here, so that's a bit of a hold. Wekid doing some damage, but not really finding any picks yet with this one. And
oh, but Fleta is now popping up.
Fleta.
Both DPSs are down.
Yeah, Wekid using the opportunity to get aggressive here. Not as much pressure on him when a few people are already out of commission, and Seoul Dynasty pushing it now. Just Mickey and OG left. Now just Mickey, now nobody, and Seoul Dynasty looking to cruise through point A.
And look at this, Fleta popping up and barely catching AKM around the corner. And then Seagull immediately thereafter. Very nicely done. Fleta having a big day tonight. A little quiet in Oasis, but he's been loud and proud on a lot of these other maps.
That's right, which is not really what you want to be as Widowmaker, because you want to be silent.
Oh no.
Strike without anyone hearing you coming.
That's why she yells and everybody on the map can hear when she sees you, right?
It's like, who's that person yelling about being afraid of spiders? It's Widowmaker again. Oh, Wekid with the barrage. Oh, and that leads into a couple of kills for Seoul. Wekid, though, finally taking himself out a little bit. I think Seagull got a bit close on the Diva. That said, the payload's still moving. Wekid brought back to the fight by Toby.
Wiki's playing a super aggressive Pharah too.
Yeah.
You can see he has no fear of dive bombing into the tank line.
Nice pick by AKM onto Jaehong. That certainly helps a little bit, but yeah, totally with Wekid. I mean, after a couple picks, he just goes aggro and there's no more pressure onto AKM. Gets Zumba again.
Wekid is flanking AKM right now. He went all through the base on point C.
Stays alive, and oh, that was a bit too far for Wekid.
Rest of his team had already bailed on that fight, so...
Yep, might as well just reset.
Nothing left to do besides reset, but that was one of the longest Pharah flanks I've seen on point B on Dorado. Doesn't end up working in the end, and after that he's going to switch to the Brigitte anyway. Much more common to see Brigitte Widowmaker here on the second point.
Yeah, when you need to shove your way through the end of point B and then going into point C, that's the time to swap to the Brigitte. Gonna need that extra sort of oomph on the payload. OG still threatening from above. AKM up there too. Watching for the respawns. Trying to find Fleta here, but Fleta's kind of circling around the side. He might actually get a shot on AKM soon. There we go. Fleta, ooh, OG finds him though.
Dive onto him. OG still sitting there, the Primal Rage. Fleta trying to ignore the monkey.
They draw the Valk out of Toby actually. Pops that Mercy ultimate. Harry Hook brings Mickey back to the fight, and now Fleta just waiting for AKM to show his face. Gonna take a few shots, and Harry Hook instead takes a bit of damage out of him. Oh, there's a finish. And now it doesn't matter though. Dallas just gonna crush Seoul, bring it right back again.
OG with a big Primal Rage, popped it and then punched Jaehong during the Transcendence away from the rest of his team. That leaves several members of the Seoul Dynasty vulnerable to the Dallas Fuel, and they are going to win that team fight late in for sight. used by Fleta, so he doesn't get much value out of it. The fight had already been won for Dallas.
Now that's teamwork.
You said it, Seagull. That was like the end of a Saturday morning cartoon.
Just declaring that that was teamwork. Well, it was.
Right.
It was quite good teamwork.
You learn a lesson today, children. Teamwork pays off in Overwatch. Hopefully the adults learn the lesson too.
I don't think I've learned a lesson my entire life, Doa.
You don't think we're a good team?
Oh.
It hurts bad. Oh, Seagull knocked out of the window. A while. I'll go, okay. There we go. Dallas Fuel finding some picks that they need. And that was right after Weki Pop rally too, so that was a tough one.
Now Seoul just gonna back all the way into the base. Jaehong gonna use a trance as they re-engage, actually.
Man, I don't know. They are going hard onto this one. Self-destruct comes in. Did it catch anybody? It did force a trance out of Unko. Thought he was gonna get hit by it, maybe. But Dallas not being pushed back here. Everyone's passing into the Iris, but the payload's not passing any further points here on the attack for Seoul.
Well, they're gonna get Wiki back up, and now OGE unresable. So Seoul trying to take the fight all the way back here. Gonna pick up the payload on their way through and try and drive it home to point B.
Oh, Weki down. That's a rally from Mickey too, so Dallas striking back with a lot of armor right now. Seagull out of the mech, back in the mech, feeling good. Zunba trying to live, oh man. That's gotta be terrifying, flying through the air and then getting hit mid-air by a giant flying ape.
Nobody wants that, Doa.
Zunba somehow gets back into his mech after going on OG's wild ride.
Don't worry, he'll be right back out of his mech again with only Wakid left alive. There's no great way to heal him up quickly, and that means Zunba back to spawn. Change off and remech. One attack left for the Seoul Dynasty. They rolled the dice there trying to punish Dallas for pushing too far forward. Dallas on their toes, react, and don't give them anything.
Hey, it's a good hold for Dallas so far. Another rally coming in from Weki. This is a push that Seoul needs to have be successful. They gotta avoid that map 5. Here we go. The fight begins. AKM takes a chunk out of the railing there, trying to hit Fleta. Got the Discord orb on him, needs to be careful here. Oh, and that's why Fleta capitalizing on the damage. And Unko now with the Transcendence trying to keep his team in this one. AKM res, right back into it. Now a trance from Jaehong as Seoul pushes forward. Fleta with another kill on the AKM when it counts. Fleta winning the Widow duels here and Jaehong hitting Mickey as well. So Dallas losing a lot of members here as point B nearly taken by Seoul. They're so close. Just a few members of Dallas left, but Harry Hook gets a bit of revenge on Fleta. There goes Seagull though, so Dallas in the position to finish B. It looks like they will. This push is still going.
It still is. Seoul Dynasty picking up another minute and a half here at the end of the rope. So Seoul have another chance to finish, even though Dallas came through with a big hold on B after getting rolled on A. Fleta now back around, already 50% of the way to the next Inversight. That Inversight allowed him to kill AKM twice on that last push.
It's big. Seoul pretty much has to roll right through, see if they want to take it though. You can't get stalled out at this point. It's exactly what OG and the rest of Dallas Fuel are already doing. Toby with the Valkyrie. Fleta still looking for those shots. He's got the Inversight now. Oh, and Mickey goes down. Dallas push back. The payload moving forward. Seoul Dynasty has a shot here.
Fleta coming around
with another one.
Inversight again, flanks around to the back of the point. He wants Harry Hook as well, has to run now.
That's an early Transcendence used by the Dallas Fuel though. Seoul can save theirs. That could come up big. Rounding the final corner with the payload. Our Seoul Dynasty, they are so close. Fleta needs to be careful. Coming around the side. No, he doubles back again. Ooh, almost takes a couple orbs to the face there from Unko. OG waiting for it. Long way away from that Earthshatter. He just swapped to the Rhine. Seoul's got to make something happen here. 10 seconds. They got to get going. They got to take this fight.
Seagull gonna try and disrupt the high ground, try and take care of Fleta on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, Valkyrie for Harry Hook here too. Jaehong saving that transfer as long as he can. Yet another win. What? No, they're not on the payload. Seoul Dynasty doesn't touch the payload. Right after another pick from Fleta too. That has gotta hurt.
They all peeled back to help Fleta to remove Seagull. And the thing about that composition is because they were in such a desperation last-minute push, Kuki didn't have a chance to switch to the Reinhardt. And the Reinhardt, I think, would have made a big difference for them right there. Kuki, a little giggle after that. They got pretty far. They got nearly to the end.
They did. I mean, and their defenses have been good on Assault and on Hybrid earlier in the series. So, you know, maybe if you're Seoul, you've got a reason to feel confident going into the defense here against Dallas. But I don't think you want to leave anything to chance if you are looking at potentially getting knocked out of a contention for the playoffs in the overall league.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think, though, that if you just look, I think the switch to the Reinhardt from OG was smarter. I think it was going to be really hard for Seoul to complete the map because they didn't have time to change to a more ideal composition.
Right.
And you have to stay on the payload. You're going to play the Winston into the Reinhardt and into the Brigitte. Super hard to push those last few meters, unfortunately. So I don't think that really affected Seoul that much.
Well, maybe. See what they've got on the defense now.
30 seconds.
Setting up a trap. Is Wekid being wary of whatever Dallas can possibly throw at them. And they know they do like to use that Seagull from time to time, or rather the Reaper from time to time. They like to use Seagull quite a bit. He's pretty much on there every time.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me for them to use Reaper because Seoul does like to play Jaehong on Roadhog on this defense. And from what Zoe was talking about, the Dallas Fuel were a little bit surprised by the composition that were run by the Seoul Dynasty in the first two maps, but this is very standard for them.
Yeah. Oh, Wekid with an early kill to Seagull. How in the world? I guess it worked. I guess he found him. All right. Seagull not even getting out of the gate.
Very interesting. Attack Orisa from the Dallas Fuel. They're going to play the Pharah and alongside the Roadhog try and play this barrier-busting game. This means that Seoul Dynasty cannot defend in the choke. They have to go back and round the corner by the marketplace.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do immediately. Responding, Seagull looking for the flank. Around the side, he's going to pick up Jaehong.
Well, Jaehong had like no health left after that last shot from AKM. Luckily, Toby there with the res, and that's another big amount of hit points available for Seoul Dynasty.
Seagull was just a touch away from bouncing him out of the resurrection with the concussive blast. That nearly didn't work at all.
Kills for Seoul Dynasty. They're starting to push Dallas back. After losing Mickey and Unko, it's going to be a short break taken by the Fuel. Oh, and Seagull scattered a little bit too. Now OG, so nice follow-up on the early picks from Seoul to really kind of make that a much worse loss for Dallas on the fight.
Yeah, to give you a perspective how much work Fleta is doing right now, he has 14 final blows out of the 30 deaths on the Dallas Fuel, 31 now and 15. So he's nearly accounting for 15% of the final, or 50% rather, the final blows for the Seoul Dynasty. He is absolutely going crazy tonight.
Clean shot on the Harry hook too, though. Couldn't get it. Ooh, narrowly dodges the hook there. I think that was more Mickey missing the hook than Fleta dodging, though. Close call for Fleta on the Widowmaker. Dallas trying to push forward. Fleta watching the rooftops. He knows that Seagull's up there. Seagulls are generally in higher elevations. On roofs, things like that. Unless you're by a pier, then they're probably sitting on the table you're trying to have lunch on. Here comes the rip tire. And ooh, that's a lot of damage on OG. Can they follow it up? Doesn't look like it. OG gets his health back. Hook on to Wekid. Wekid gets away with the concussion mine. What an escape.
Barely escaping that. It's whole hog versus whole hog right now. Jaehong trying to counter Mickey as Mickey was trying to destroy their defensive position. Seoul Dynasty stabilized as a result.
A double hog. Meanwhile, Dallas Fuel still pushed back. They've got the barrage for Seagull. If they can set something up, if Seagull can be sneaky, maybe they can get point A done. Seagull right now trying to loop all the way around the side. Oh, kids, Kuki and Jaehong. What?
Those long-range rockets find their intended targets. Jaehong going to get resurrected, but they are surrounded right now. Seagull takes to the ground and starts firing rockets into the flank. Jaehong is there trying to keep himself up with a breather, but that's not going to be enough. Dallas Fuel moving on to point B.
Well, it was a long hold from Seoul Dynasty, but not long enough as Dallas Fuel do keep the payload moving. About 320 in the time bank here. And remember, they don't even need to finish. They just need to get it nearly all the way there in point C to win the map and send us to a map 5.
Lots of swaps for Seoul, of course. Nothing so far for the Dallas Fuel. They are committed to this composition. An unusual pick for attack on A or B.
Yep. Oh, Zunba! That's a self-destruct, remember. Seoul Dynasty says, we want some time. We want some time to relax here, so we're just going to kill everybody at once.
Can they get AKM too? No, AKM gonna make it back safely to his allies that are respawning, and now the swaps are coming for the Dallas Fuel. They were trying to see how far they could push it, but I think this is the time. Just go ahead and make those changes immediately. You're never going to be able to even challenge the high ground with that composition. Would have been a problem for you.
Yeah. Zimba has to grab the high ground here. AKM, ooh, Fleta taking this time to set up a shot. Couldn't land it though.
Trying to use that infrasight advantage.
Yep. OG. An agile ape. I mean scientist. Oh, not so agile now. Drops the shield after taking a big shot. Ooh, Fleta nearly finishing him off. Can't quite get the last hit though. Dallas Fuel still pushing forward. Making some serious progress. Now the self-destruct coming in. Mickey though caught soon, but gets another one. Seagull taken out by the Diva mech again. That's Fleta. That's Fleta, guys.
And he's still up there at almost 50% of his team's final blows. It hasn't stopped. He's 19 out of 42 right now.
The Fleta effect. And that's going to be Seoul Dynasty cleaning up a big fight, and now just a minute 25 or so left for Dallas Fuel to push through B. And the staggers continue. They lost Kuki though, so Seoul may be moving forward a little bit too far here.
They might have been, but Kuki is going to be able to make it back in time, considering Unko just respawned as well.
Yeah, still though, a risk you don't really want to take in this situation.
And they're coming up with some big ultimates. If they can get the Dragon Blade to work, might be a trick against Mickey's Brigitte. Mickey's on point, but
true.
Can be hard to cover your Winston sometimes.
Oh, AKM. Weki tracks him down. His blade is ready too. And he's gonna pull it out right now. Kuki with the kill and Unko going in for the final blows here to finish this one off. Gets Mickey. OGE still with some health remaining, but that's a finish for Weki. Seoul Dynasty putting together some great fights here at the end. And now just 30 seconds for Dallas to try to tie up this series. Seoul Dynasty, playoff hopes on the line. A win on this map keeps them in it. All they need to do, win one more fight.
Fleta just waiting on the far flank right now, trying to get a pick off as they come in. Kuki is also there with him. OG jumping in, but now they know he's not going to be on the high ground to protect his team.
Now pops that primal rage right away, but Mickey dropping early. Weki taking advantage of the damage. There goes Harry Hook. Yet another pick from Fleta, and Dallas Fuel looking so good in this stage, but Seoul Dynasty came to play on another level today. Last chance for OG to get this going. He does keep the payload into overtime. Dobie brings Fleta back though. Seagull's still there. Dal's not out of it yet. Harry Hook and Mickey making changes to get back to the payload in a hurry, but the kills keep coming in anyway. It's going to be Seoul Dynasty taking the map, taking the series. They are still alive in the hunt for the playoffs.
That's right, Doa, and they win this rivalry yet again. This matchup has been going on in some way, shape, or form for the last year and a half.
At least, yeah.
And it's once again Seoul Dynasty. They sweep Dallas 4-0 in the Overwatch League.
I mean, Dallas Fuel coming into this series is unquestionably, I think, the better looking team in stage 4. But Seoul Dynasty brought a level to their play today that we have yet to see from them, and that frankly, we haven't seen from them in a long time. Just a bit too much for Dallas to handle today.
And it was it probably was Fleta's best performance of this stage.
Certainly was, yeah.
He's been a player that we saw such amazing highs out of at the start of the Overwatch League, and has been in a bit of a funk in the last couple of stages, but that was really a vintage performance.
You can tell Dallas, too, still pretty happy with their performance across the board. Certainly should be. It's going to be a 3-1 victory for Seoul in the end, though. Quick break, and when we come back, the desk breaks down those maps. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you then.
Is this happening? You better believe it! Here is the dead eye! It's so filthy! Heck, and it's
What did we do to deserve such incredible Overwatch?
What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to MLG's Watchpoint. We know you missed us.
I love watching this team
They
right
just
now.
don't want to challenge him. There are some real issues going on behind the scenes.
Not everybody can improve,
Need
guys.
him to be on fire, and he wants.
You want him on Widow as much as possible.
Yeah, this is a disaster of a play.
You don't have the resources, you can't put together a winning strategy anyway.
Can you imagine what's going to be going through your head?
It'll be a little bit nerve-wracking. It's a family here, and we treat each other like brothers and sisters.
I mean, in a game that moves as fast as Overwatch, it's actually huge.
This team could avoid the semifinal match if they just stuck with this lineup.
You might be right.
Is that all you're gonna say?
What's up, Overwatch fans?
Do what we're told.
You need sweet names like Rocky.
Idiots.
Or once he gets up like
This is Watchpoint.
That's Emmy material.
It was okay, I guess.
I was right and they were wrong. Seoul gets the big win tonight. What's up, boys? Welcome back. We are here in the Blizzard Arena for the final segment of the night. Of course, Seoul Dynasty coming in and causing an upset here in Stage 4. Dallas was higher seeded. They were the number 4 seed in Stage 4 coming into this match. And Seoul's win tonight keeps them on the right path to the playoffs. Now, this path is not easy. They still need a lot of help here. They need to defeat the Gladiators, who have only dropped 1 match in the entirety of Stage 4. They also need some big help from the Outlaws against Philadelphia. And, of course, they need to win the remaining match.
Yep, London need to beat Philadelphia as well. A lot of these things are kind of out of their control. but it could happen.
Could happen.
The Gladiators game is the biggest hurdle for me. I can see a world in which Philly just lose this week. The pressure gets to them, they crumble.
Yeah,
I don't know whether I can really see a situation where they Seoul beat the Gladiators.
One thing's for sure, if they do make it into playoffs now, I could safely say that they actually do kind of deserve it. You know, of course they deserve it because they've earned the spot now, but now I feel like they're not just going to get absolutely rolled as soon as they enter the playoffs. I feel like they're in a good position now to take the fights to a lot of the stronger teams. They're now looking like more of a contender, which I'm happy. I'm happy to be wrong.
And I think we saw a lot of ultimate mistakes probably throughout this match on both sides, but one thing was consistent from game 1 to game 4. He goes by the name of Flutter. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. We're going back to game 3. This is Oasis here. And I love watching these controls, especially on Oasis. Every map plays so differently from the others. Snipers, still consistent.
Yes, still consistent, but actually the name of this match really was AKM performing really well on the Widowmaker, in my opinion.
The Frenchman.
2 rounds that Dallas took here on Oasis was all off the back of essentially good Widowmaker play from AKM, and the rest of his team just not feeding, like playing really well, tight, close-knit, you know, not making too many mistakes. It was really good. The one round they did lose was also the round where they were playing, you know, tanks into Seoul Dynasty, which they seem much more fluent at when it comes to playing the sort of Reinhardt Zarya compositions. This particular round is what I was talking about here. They seem to have good control over their own destiny in this particular section.
And the Dallas Fuel, actually, all 3 of these were incredibly close stages that could have gone to the Seoul Dynasty. But the Dallas Fuel, like you're saying, seem to be very comfortable on control in this stage. They've got a good idea of what they're doing, and Seagull in particular was performing very well, I think, when he was moving over to the Pharah. Wikid actually was also great.
Right?
They were just taking
his
on each other
movement was incredible.
Yeah, as he just rocket concussion blasts straight into Seagull's face and finish him off. He's got some style. But what I like most about Seagull's Pharah play is that he was playing very intelligently around Zumba and around his defense matrix, and when he has certain cooldowns available, you can see Seagull's brain work whenever he picks up a hero. He's a very...
I wish I could say the same for you.
I have never seen your brain.
Your Zenyatta is in their spawn.
I honestly feel like sometimes you leave your brain at the spawn when you play the video game.
Brett, let's talk about these guys,
I'd love to talk about
this is some Fleta winning the sniper battle. AKM, you could say he got the edge in game 3. There's no denying that Fleta had the edge on Dorado.
He had 20 final blows out of his team's 56 in total at the end of this match.
What's that as a percentage?
Oh my goodness.
You can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. It's over 40.
35%.
Well, Brent's closer than Puckett was, so.
Hey!
But that is a huge amount of his team's kills, and Fleta really turned it on. And I think of this guy as somebody who can reach these kind of peaks, and it's amazing actually that this is his first team that's ever been competent. He was playing on a long time for a team that was awful, just really terrible.
He's out of roster prison.
He's the only player that I've ever seen get 50% of his team's kills in a match, and he's done that twice. He's been able to have these kind of hard carry performances. Obviously, you're not going to get 50% when you're playing in the Overwatch League because you tend to be surrounded by actual good players like the rest of the Seoul Dynasty. But Fleta's capable of that kind of stuff. He's an absolute monster when you get the pieces around him working well. And when Seoul Dynasty were in comfortable positions, like the first 2 maps and like their defense on Dorado, you just see Fleta unleashed.
Brent, you're not a very good navigator, but you nailed it there. 35.7% of the final blows.
I'm like the Rain Man, bro. Whoa.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the Rain Man.
You're wrong. You would have rounded it up to 36, but
no,
it was very close. Guys, let's get out of here by closing out with our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Whew, no one better in the meta than Fleta, at least in this matchup.
That's true. And the guy's so flexible as well, actually, but one of his strongest heroes and one of the most impactful heroes in the entire game is, of course, the Widowmaker. So that's what you see him on a lot of the time, but he's also picked up the Genji, been really good there. Horizon, he used to play a ton of Junkrat on the defense, actually. I don't see too much of that. But the guy's got style, and he's just got so much ability on a huge range of heroes that that's one of the most disappointing things about Seoul, is that they were never able to let this guy shine, and when you unleash him, he's fantastic.
There's a look at some of his numbers on Widow tonight, 45 final blows. Bren, quick question though. We saw amazing Brigitte numbers from Fleta. They lost. Now you see some amazing Widow numbers. You get the victory. Do you ever put Fleta back on the Brigitte moving forward?
I kind of feel like you do. You put him on the various other roles. Seoul are not lacking other good Widowmaker plays. They got Munchkin. Munchkin's been playing really well recently.
He's been decent.
You know, so I feel like for Fleta, you know, you put him on the other roles, he's a star player. He's super sick when it comes to mechanical skills.
Can you be a star Brigitte?
No, everyone is a star producer, Josh.
Not everybody.
Including me in competitive free-for-all. See you guys on there a little bit later tonight. For now, though, let's close it out with our stage standings here because we got to update you with where we're at. We're down to just 3 days left of the regular season. We're talking just 9 matches, and you can see here in Stage 4, we got the Valiant and Gladiators officially locked up. Philadelphia bumps up to number 4 after Dallas's loss tonight.
And Dallas is still actually in the running for the Stage 4 standings despite the loss today. And they don't play the NYXL this stage, so the potential for them still to sneak into that 4th place spot, but it's Los Angeles all over the place at the top.
And looking at the biggest picture, $1.7 million up for grabs in the season playoffs. And right now, you can see we got 4 teams locked in. The Gladiators are officially going to be competing in the playoffs. Now the question is, who is going to be in the mix? Will it be London Spitfire holding on? Will Philadelphia Fusion be able to fend off the Houston Outlaws? And can the Seoul Dynasty sneak in? We're going to find out. It's going to be an awesome week here of Overwatch, and we hope you guys stay tuned. The action continues tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific. Houston versus Philly. Biggest game of the week, in my opinion, and that's just how we start the day. We want to close out the night by saying thank you guys for coming out to the Blizzard Arena. We got a special signing for all of you guys who came out here with one of our teams. The Dallas Fuel is also going to be doing a Q&A. So if you got that Twitch All Access Pass, make sure to head over to the Command Center and tune in with Coco. Thanks for watching. I'm Puckett. Shout out to the Seagull. We'll see you tomorrow.